Marvel fans, comic geeks, and all the nerds in between. It is Megan with Vigilante Vibes, and I am here with another character breakdown, and I am continuing to discuss all of the mutants, mostly underrated mutants of the Marvel Universe. Usually I do underrated mutants, but I have to talk about the guy who is the talk of the town lately with X-Men Age of Revelation happening. Of course, I'm talking about none other than Doug Ramsey, who is now Revelation, if you did not know that. So I would like to talk about him, and I think I will start right now. So who is Doug Ramsey? His first full appearance was in New Mutants 13, and he was created by Chris Claremont and Sal Buscema. Doug Ramsey grew up in Salem Center with his parents, Philip and Sheila. His dad was a lawyer who once helped Professor Xavier with the paperwork for opening the school for gifted youngsters, though he had no clue Xavier or any of his students were mutants. He just strictly the paperwork. Doug eventually became close friends with Kitty Pryde, my girl, after she moved to Westchester to join the X-Men. They bonded over computers, video games, general nerd stuff, like the little nerds they are. For reasons no one ever really explained, Xavier suspected Doug might be a mutant, but didn't try to recruit him. Emma Frost, however, absolutely did try. She offered him a scholarship to the Massachusetts Academy so she could eventually turn him into one of her Hellions. Doug and Kitty even hacked into Project Wide Awake together, and she tagged along when he went for his final interview. Kitty did not trust Emma. Rightfully so. Very good instinct, Kitty. And Emma ended up kidnapping her, which is so Emma. The New Mutants saved Kitty. Doug didn't attend the academy, and that whole situation never really got addressed after. Doug stayed friends with the New Mutants, though they hid their powers from him, until Warlock crashed into the mansion one night. In the chaos, the team finally told Doug the truth and asked him to help communicate with the alien. Doug succeeded, and both he and Warlock ended up joining the team. Doug took the codename Cypher because his mutant power let him understand any language, spoken, written, coded, anything. He often felt useless in fights, even though his abilities ended up helping more often than he realized. He and Warlock became particularly tight, basically besties. His first big mission was helping save rock star Lila Cheney from the Vrakanen, where he literally saved the planet by decoding a damaged Stargate before it blew. He and Kitty later wrote a program together to mess with the Murder World's computers. Doug had a handful of intense adventures after that, fighting alongside Karma, going to Asgard, getting Magneto as a teacher, which frustrated Doug because Magneto was super overprotective, and helping save Psylocke from Mojo, learning to merge with Warlock physically and mentally, which came with the risk of him catching the transmode virus. He even developed a crush on Psylocke, rightfully so, and when Mojo turned a bunch of X-Men into X-Babies, Doug's admission of his feelings helped free her from brainwashing. She liked him back, but since Doug was underage, nothing came of it. Speaking of X-Babies, Mojo's back on his usual bullshit in the Age of Revelation event, because those X-Babies are back, and I hate Mojo so much. Things escalated when Warlock's dad Magus was attacked. Doug and Warlock ended up rewriting Magus's DNA and reducing him to an infant, but Doug started showing early signs of infection from all the merging. Doug also had some teenage drama. Tarot flirted with him, Roulette manipulated him, and he spent a drunken night with her that caused tension between the New Mutants and the Hellions. He also refused to communicate with Birdbrain out of jealousy until Magneto threatened to return the creature to the authorities, which pushed Doug to help. Eventually, during a fight with the Animator, Doug saw Wolfsbane about to be shot, and he threw himself in front of the bullets. He was killed instantly. His last words were asking Ron not to be mad at him. His death devastated the team. Magic even tossed the Animator into limbo to be eaten by demons, which is, I guess that's fair. Warlock didn't understand death and briefly animated Doug's corpse to remind him what it was like to be alive, but the New Mutants eventually laid Doug to rest. Later, Eli Bard resurrected Doug using the transmode virus, and Doug ended up fighting alongside the reanimated Hellions on Utopia. Warlock eventually freed him from mind control, and Doug reconnected emotionally with Magma after whispering a secret language only she could understand. Which is, I don't want to say cute, but it's oddly sexy? I don't know. Just ignore that. Doug went on to play a huge role during the Bastion attacks, convincing Warlock to absorb Hodge to save the team, helping X-Force and Cable stop a Sentinel invasion, and ultimately surviving Cable's sacrifice. Afterward, Doug struggled with an addiction to decoding everything, which I guess there's worse addictions, to the point where he became a filthy, half-starved hermit trying to decode the entire internet. Daredevil and others pulled him out of it, though he did almost kill someone for unplugging his Wi-Fi. Same. He eventually admitted to needing help. Doug kept getting pulled into major mutant events, getting injured by Albert, decoding secrets from the Zatoria, and eventually being brought to Krakoa by Xavier and Myra McTaggart. Doug was the one who communicated with the Living Island and created the systems mutants use to travel, defend the island, and basically make the place function. While acting suspicious of Xavier, he secretly fused with Warlock again, let Warlock listen in on Krakoa's secrets, and even helped create Myra's hidden no space. Doug joined the Quiet Council representing Krakoa itself, helped establish Krakoa's laws, and later participated in the Ten of Swords tournament. Instead of fighting, he ended up marrying his opponent, Bay the Blood Moon, and earning points for both their teams. When Arakko evaded, Doug convinced Bay to switch sides, and the two moved to Krakoa together. He also had a strange back and forth with Sabretooth in the pit, helped stop Mystique and Destiny from killing Myra, and got temporarily imprisoned by Krakoa to protect him when the Council came under Sinister's influence. Krakoa eventually released him during the Orcus War, where Doug hacked the Sentinels using code Sebastian Shaw slipped him. Doug later helped reinstate a displaced piece of Krakoa, traveled to the White Hot Room, and, against all odds, won a tournament to choose Apocalypse's successor. So Doug Ramsey, the kid who understood languages, ended up becoming Revelation, Apocalypse's heir. And that's where we are today. He is Revelation. I did read the tournament for Apocalypse's successor. That was a fun miniseries that I feel like really didn't get the appreciation it deserved. So, but right now in Marvel Comics, as I've mentioned before, the Age of Revelation is in full swing, and it's going really well. It is dark. You get a little bit of everyone's perspective in it. I can't remember what comes out this week. I think it's Omega Kids 2 and something else. But it's been really cool. Basically, it's about 10 years into the future. Scott's mind was switched in the new X-Men run with his future self. And now he's, in the future. And Revelation has taken over everything. He released a gene bomb that released an X virus that basically it will mess with your mutation. If you are a human, you will either become a mutant or you will die. Like Black Cat's a mutant right now and loving it. Like, it's very, very interesting. Also, Sam Wilson as president. They just dropped that little bit of tidbit of knowledge. But it's cool. I like it. It's fun. It's in the future, so it's like it could all just be undone, So there's not going to be any lasting effects of it. But it's fun. I definitely recommend checking it out. But yeah, like always, I have some comics for you to check out to get to know Doug Ramsey even better. So I say New Mutants number 13 through 64. It's a lot of reading, but it's good reading. X-Men Heir to Apocalypse. It's a mini series. I think it's like 4 or 5 comics. It's fun. It's quick. You'll like it. And I say dive into the X-Men Age of Revelation. So I would say start with X-Men Age of Revelation Overture. you really don't need to know much about it going in. They do a really good job explaining it, so you should be fine. But yeah, so that is Doug Ramsey. I thought it would be a good time to talk about him since he is the big man on campus. He's the talk of town. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you'll like and subscribe, and I hope you have a marvelous day.